She suddenly discovered her husband, who had been dead for 2 years, at her female neighbor's house, and had even become her husband. But when her husband saw Sarah, he didn't recognize her at all. Sarah was very confused. Although she had just moved here, there was no way she could mistake him for someone else. However, 2 years ago she had watched her husband being buried with her own eyes. Yet neighbor David's way of drinking water was exactly the same as her husband's. Even the dark tips fixed positions in the house and the coffee brand he drank every morning were identical. This made her deeply suspicious. To figure out whether he was actually her husband or not, Sarah decided to stay as a tutor for the female neighbor's child while investigating the truth. On her first day of work, she got along very well with the little boy. However, during dinner with the couple that evening, David deliberately grabbed the wine from her hand and intentionally touched her hand. Sarah couldn't understand what he meant by this. She suddenly remembered her husband had a scar on his left cheek, but David's skin was flawless and smooth as silk. Frightened, she quickly hid the necklace her husband had left behind. That night she had a nightmare where David suddenly broke into her room. She woke up terrified. Could this dream be foretelling something? 2 years ago, she and her husband were still a loving couple. Suddenly one day, her husband told her he had to go on a business trip for a month. Sarah reluctantly said goodbye to him. However, the next news about her husband came from the police. The police said her husband was killed instantly when his car was hit by an exploding truck. She had been deeply immersed in grief over her husband's death ever since. Her best friend couldn't bear to see her so devastated and kindly helped arrange blind dates for her. But while she was in the restroom, she accidentally discovered her dead husband standing at the door. She went out to look but found no one there, thinking she had seen things. Looking back now, things started getting strange from that moment. Sarah desperately wanted to know if her male employer was actually her husband. That day she saw David arguing with his wife. Evening, the lady of the house got drunk and collapsed on the floor. She treated Sarah like a friend and told her the story of how she met David. They had met at a bar. Because they went there every week, they gradually became familiar. Later she married him with her child. Initially, her husband was very loving toward her, but later his attitude got worse and worse. He even had the driver monitor her and wouldn't let her go out freely. This made Sarah even more curious, because she had also met her husband at a bar. So what secret was this David hiding? The little boy told her his dad had a basement but never let him go in. Sarah cautiously went to the basement to search for secrets.